All right. So, as you could see from the title of the video, my new car. I decided to finally pull the trigger and get myself a 4Runner. Not just any 4Runner, but a TRD Off-Road Premium Edition. And let me tell you, this thing is a beast on its own. I'd like to kind of talk a few things, mostly about the features as to why I got this car and why I think it's a really great option for a lot of people who are actually wanting to get into the outdoors, but also wanting to do a lot of travel. Specifically for me, who's a landscape photographer and travel photographer, I needed something a little beefier, a little meatier. And for many years, I was actually driving with my Toyota Corolla, which, let's be honest, is not necessarily the best to be always driving in. So let's kind of take a look at what kind of features this car has and why I chose it. Okay, so let's do a little bit of walking around here. And as you can see, I decided to go with the all black version of this 4Runner. And I just got it probably, I'd say about a few days ago. So she's still new, but as you can see, she's already a little dirty. I decided to call her Raven, mostly because she's got black accent marks everywhere, which is so sweet. We got the blacked out rims, blacked out rock crawler over here, or yeah, rock gauge over here. We got the nice blacked out emblem over here. It even came out with this nice like decal American flag on it. And of course, the blacked out nice chrome over here, the blacked out rim. And of course, you gotta get the TRD Pro tires. And on the inside, of course, all the great little tidbits that make a Tacoma or a 4Runner really fun. And so as you can see, it is the leather edition. Let's talk a little bit about why I decided to get a 4Runner and not, let's say, a Tacoma or a Tundra or any other sort of off-road vehicle. And mainly I'm really obsessed with Toyota and their reliability, right? Specifically, if you go around the world, if you've traveled anywhere around the world, you know Toyotas last a lifetime if they're taken care of. Even if they're banged up, dinged up, essentially been thrown off a mountain, most Toyotas will outlive a lot of people. And even when I grew up in Mexico, I could remember distinctly seeing a lot of Tacomas and 4Runners that were from, like the 80s and 70s, I would say, still on the road when I was really young as a kid. And so that's the main reason I got this guy. And since it was a certified pre-owned, it only had about 23,000 miles. And for anyone who knows about used cars, that is nothing. That is basically a new car. It didn't have any damage. It was a leased car. And what I really like about it, again, it's a 4x4. And specifically the 4Runner, which I love so much, is that if you take care of this car, the powertrain and the motor on this car, for many people has lasted, even for older generations, about 300,000 miles, which is really great. So I'm really excited. I'm also excited that I didn't have to pay that high premium of a new 4Runner, which in the car market right now is a little crazy, a little nutty. So. This is actually one of my favorite parts about having a 4Runner is the amount of space that I have. I was really divided between getting a Tacoma and a 4Runner. And the biggest deter for me was the amount of space I actually would like to have when I'm actually traveling. So for example, because I usually travel with quite a bit of gear when I'm out camping or even traveling for personal projects, I need it to be in a safe space. And with my little Corolla, sadly, there was, after having included some tent, some camping gear, and a little bit of camera gear, I was very limited on space, especially since I recently got a dog, Shadow here. He's been traveling with me occasionally, and it's not the most convenient thing to have when you're traveling. And so I decided to get a 4Runner because of that reason, the space itself. And anyone who owns these knows that the space really is one of the key features that sells them on the Sky. Oh, I also love how I could completely lay down these seats. And so hopefully in the future, if I do some car camping or whatnot, I could actually fit inside this car very easily and not have to worry about, sleeping outside in the tent, or, just enjoying and doing light camping inside the car itself. The other great thing I love about a 4Runner is not just the backspace, but the interior space as well, actually. I don't know if you could tell in most of my videos, but I'm about 6'1" when I'm not too slouching, but inside here, there's a lot of space for a lot of people. And so it's really great just to kind of have a lot of leg room to essentially just be able to enjoy yourself. In my little Corolla, I always felt a little cramped. And when I was test driving a lot of the Tacomas, sadly, being a taller guy, I unfortunately felt very stuck, especially when I had other people with me. So with the 4Runner, thankfully, I don't have that issue. All right, let's talk about, I guess, what this car already has that I love, and let's talk about, I guess, the next part, which is really going to be mostly the upgrades, really, that I'm looking forward to. I've never really been a car guy, even though I've really enjoyed cars, especially customized cars, overland vehicles, converted cars. And one of the things that I really liked about this car is that it already came with really good all-terrain tires. It came with the amazing wheels for the TRD. It came with a rock crawler, I believe it's called. And of course, it came with a good roof rack. But what I realized is there's already a couple upgrades, I suppose, I'm already going to be initializing with this car. Again, it came already really tinted. It has ceramic coating on it, which I really love. And it has a warranty on it. So a couple of the upgrades I'm thinking already off the bat, and I've talked to a couple of my friends who already have off-road vehicles, is I'm definitely going to be probably getting a lift on this car. So as you can see, I'm a pretty tall guy compared to most people, and if I stand up straight, I'm almost hitting the roof, essentially the roof of this car. So I'm gonna definitely need a lift on this car, just so it makes it a little easier for me to, well, one, be off-roading, and two, it protects the car a little bit better. So that's gonna be really fun. The other thing I'm really looking forward to is, again, like I said, this roof rack. It's the basic roof rack that the car comes with, and it's gonna meet my needs for now, but I already have a feeling once I start loading up with a lot of my gear and, let's say, sleeping in the car itself when I'm traveling, I'm definitely gonna be needing something better. So who knows? I'm thinking probably maybe a Sherpa or a Gobi. The other thing I'm already thinking of is, well, if I do get a bit of a lift on my car and potentially get other tires for an all-terrain, probably better tires, because these ones are the basic ones that come with Toyota, which usually aren't the best. But I'm thinking of probably also getting a ladder here, just because it's going to be easier to mount things on here. And if anyone's watched a lot of overland videos, they know that having a ladder or something when you're essentially mounting a lot of your stuff on the roof makes it so much easier, especially in case I get a roof tent or something eventually in the future. It's going to be a lot easier to do things. The other thing I already am thinking about is the bumpers and skid plate. So I'm definitely thinking about getting a back bumper, just because I'm not a huge fan of this this plastic that they already have back here, as well as the bumper over here for the grill. I'm not a huge fan of the gray, and since, you know, I already named her Raven, I kind of want to go for an all black theme for my truck essentially. And I'm thinking of probably getting a winch in the future, but for now, the immediate upgrades are probably going to be the lift, of course, probably a 2 or 3 inch lift, and then of course better tires, roof rack, and of course a ladder. But honestly, as the car stands, it's already pretty off-road capable. And honestly, as the car stands alone, I've already taken her off-roading quite a bit. And I'm pretty excited. It's handled well. I'm learning a lot on how to actually manage the crawl control, the A-track, the differential, the back brake differential that it has, and all these other terms such as when to actually, let's say for example, a silly thing that some people would know, but I didn't know, was lowering the tire pressure when you're actually trying to do crawling with a lot of heavy rock. As well as, it's funny, a Prius is just trying to mob in the parking lot right now. I think that's funny. And of course, I don't know. There's just so much capabilities about having a car that's already well built for off-roading that you could customize, and I'm really excited to really just start learning more about this, and including, well, the process of building this car out in this YouTube channel and then taking it on adventures for my photography and travel. So anyway, this is kind of the new upgrade for my new vehicle. I'm very excited. Yeah, if you're into this sort of content and you want to watch more videos about me upgrading my car over time, just let me know in the comments. And yeah, and if you have a 4Runner, tell me what you did with it, or what do you love about your 4Runner. All right, in the meantime, catch you guys later.